The episode opens with Shashwat in a reflective mood. He calmly states that he feels content with where his life has reached. After everything he has gone through, he expresses that he now wants to slow down and focus on himself and his family. For the first time, there is a sense of acceptance and quiet peace in his tone, as though he is trying to embrace a simpler, calmer phase of life. Pihu lightens the mood by suggesting that the family should go on a trip together. She excitedly proposes Europe as a destination, hoping to bring everyone closer. Turning toward Ishani, she insists that she should also come along with Anurag as part of the family experience. Shashwat immediately reacts to this and questions why Anurag would be part of the trip when he is already getting married. Pihu, however, confidently responds that the marriage will be stopped. Her statement creates instant discomfort in the room. Ishani, visibly uneasy, asks Pihu not to start that discussion again, trying to avoid conflict. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifts completely. Shashwat collapses without warning. Panic immediately spreads across the room as everyone rushes toward him. Ishani freezes in shock while Pihu breaks down, repeatedly asking what has happened to him. Siddharth quickly steps forward and examines Shashwat, his expression turning grave as he confirms that it is a heart attack. Pihu desperately holds onto Shashwat, pleading with him to wake up and assuring him that nothing will happen to him. Raj Didi rushes out in panic to call an ambulance, but the situation is already critical. In his final moments, Shashwat weakly holds Ishani's hand. The gesture is emotional and heavy, filled with unspoken words and unresolved feelings. Moments later, Siddharth checks his pulse again and delivers the devastating truth. Shashwat is no more. The confirmation breaks everyone completely. The room is filled with cries, shock, and disbelief. Pihu is devastated, unable to accept what has just happened. Raj Didi breaks down, repeatedly asking Shashwat to open his eyes, refusing to believe he could leave them like this. Her grief turns into helpless anger and sorrow as she questions how he could abandon her. The next day, the scene shifts to the cremation ground. Shashwat's last rites begin, marking the final farewell. The atmosphere is heavy, silent, and emotionally overwhelming. Ishani holds Pihu firmly, trying to support her through the unbearable moment. As the priest begins the rituals, he asks the family to call Shashwat's son to perform the last rites. Pihu immediately responds that Shashwat does not have a son. This creates confusion among the priest and others present. The priest then asks who will perform the final rites. At this moment, Raj Didi steps forward and insists that Shashwat's son Yash must be on his way. However, Pihu firmly disagrees, saying that if Yash truly wanted to come, he would already be there. Her words reflect both anger and disappointment. Taking a strong stand, Pihu declares that she will perform the last rites herself. The priest objects, saying that traditionally women do not perform this ritual. However, Pihu refuses to back down. She calmly but firmly says that she is not here to argue traditions. She is here to fulfill her duty toward Shashwat. Seeing her determination, the priest finally agrees. With trembling hands and overwhelming grief, Pihu performs the last rites of Shashwat. She speaks emotionally to him, acknowledging that despite his flaws, he always cared for them in his own way. She tells him to find peace wherever he is now and prays for his soul to rest. Her voice breaks as she promises that she will make him proud even after his death. Overcome with emotion, she cries and says she will miss him deeply. Siddharth stands beside her, silently supporting her as she breaks down. Pihu eventually leans into him and cries uncontrollably. Raj Didi continues mourning, unable to accept the reality of living without Shashwat, questioning how she will survive alone. Ishani comforts Raj Didi, trying to calm her grief even as she herself struggles with the loss. Pihu then lights the funeral pyre, completing the final ritual. As the flames rise, Sengupta breaks down in tears. Later, the emotional weight of the day continues. Pihu approaches Ishani and asks her a deeply personal question, whether she has truly forgiven Shashwat from her heart. Ishani is taken aback and asks why Pihu is bringing this up at such a painful moment. Pihu explains that it is important for her to know. Ishani responds honestly. She admits that because of Shashwat, she suffered deeply and those wounds cannot be erased easily. What she went through is something only she can truly understand, and it will take time for her pain to heal completely. However, she also acknowledges that she saw a change in Shashwat over time. Because of that, she was able to forgive him. She adds emotionally that even though it may sound strange, she will miss him as well. Pihu reflects quietly and says that Shashwat somehow knew his time was near. She believes there was a sense of peace on his face when he passed away. Ishani agrees with her observation, hoping that his soul has finally found rest. Pihu then adds that perhaps God has freed Shashwat from his pain. In a final emotional moment, she hands Ishani a letter written by Shashwat, meant specifically for her. The episode ends on Ishani holding the letter, emotionally shaken, as the weight of Shashwat's final words hangs in the air.